The following program is brought to you in living color on NBC.
Oh, Johnny, if you woke up one morning and discovered that I was your wife, would you smother me with diamonds?
I'd use anything I could get my hands on.
True love is finding a lipstick mark on your husband's shirt collar and then calling the laundress for an explanation.
It's all right for a girl to have a head on her shoulders if it's a different one every night.
I could have sworn I heard the wail of a downhearted frail.
If I can just stay this way until the ambulance comes, I can sue for whiplash.
And now, from beautiful downtown Burbank, NBC, the non-existent broadcasting company, suffers its first New Year's hangover by presenting Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In, starring party favorite Dan Rowan and noisemaker Dick Martin, with special guest of this or any other year, Mr. William F. Buckley, and Artie Johnson, with Ruth Buzzy, Alan Suze, and Lily Tomlin, plus Dennis Allen, Johnny Brown, Ann Elder, Nancy Phillips, and Barbara Sharma. And me, I'm Gary Owens, with a word of caution to all of you who will be out on the highway this New Year's Eve. Get back in your car. Now, here is Dan Rowan and the lovely Dick Martin.
They think it's the Dave Garroway.
Yes, they think it's the Dave Garroway. Well, welcome to all you Gale Storm fans once again. Hey, we have a year... More already? Our kind of group.
That's right, drunks.
Right. Good evening, and what a year-end show we have. That's what I wanted to say. We got a great show for the end of the year.
That's true. William F. Buckley is going to make his debut in a musical variety show.
That's right, and we have some other surprise guests for you.
Yes, like John Wayne, Raquel Welch, Jack Lemmon.
No, they're not on the show.
Surprise!
We're also going to look at some of the great events that made 1970 a year to forget.
Ah, wait a minute. 1970 is not a year to be forgotten.
Why not?
I forgot.
I see. While Dick is forgetting, here's a moment to be remembered.
Don't you really believe that soaking your hands in Foon dishwasher liquid will make them soft again?
Of course I do, Madge.
Then why have you got them in my soup?
And here's another one.
Doing the show is my second favorite thing in the entire world. The first is having an excited hummingbird fly up my pants leg.
Because with all the cars around, people aren't using their legs enough.
Well, I used my legs a lot. My right leg happens to be a road map of Muncie, Indiana.
Leg? I'll show you legs.
Knock it off. I've been whistling that for the last time.
Tonight is a very special and a very exciting occasion for all of us because we have with us tonight a man whom we have tried to convince to come on the show since the very beginning. He's one of the most intelligent, erudite, knowledgeable, articulate, charming, delightful, and controversial men who has ever consistently refused to appear on Laugh-In.
With us now is the lovely, talented, intelligent, erudite, knowledgeable, articulate, charming, delightful, and controversial William F. Buckley.
We're very delighted to have you on the show with us tonight.
I hope that was a rehearsal. I'd like to hear it again.
Oh, we're going to go. You know, so much of your own show is question and answer. We're not going to try and debate with you because we feel you're handicapped. But we decided to make you feel at home. Are you comfortable there? We thought we might go with some questions and answers, if that's okay with you. All right. You have a question?
Yes, I don't want to start off with a really loaded one, but I would, you don't mind if I ask you just anything, huh? Fine. How tall is John Wayne?
Oh, come on. No, not that kind
of... too loaded, huh?
Question, you dingy dog.
10 feet. 10 feet tall.
Recently, Mr. Buckley, you did an interview for Playboy magazine. Now you're on our show. Would this indicate you're becoming more hip, Have you decided to loosen up a little bit? You becoming a swinger, as they say?
Well, I did an interview with Playboy because I decided it was the only way to communicate my views to my son.
Did you look at the rest of the magazine and, you know...
I made Xerox copies.
Mr. Buckley, some of the members of our company have questions for you. This is Mr. Alan Seuss.
Mr. Buckley, did you see the film Myra Breckenridge, and why not?
Because it folded before the New York public transportation could get me there.
Ruth Buzzy.
Hello, Mr. Buckley.
Hi.
Some people say a conservative is suspicious of liberals and an ultra-conservative is suspicious of conservatives. Could you give any analogy of a liberal and an extreme liberal?
There's no such thing as an extreme liberal. The New York Times wouldn't permit it.
Barney Johnson.
Well, the Roosevelts and the Kennedys came out of Harvard and enjoyed great political success. As a graduate of Yale, do you feel you would have done better politically had you attended Harvard?
Well, I don't know what I would have done for the country, but I would certainly have helped Harvard.
Lily Tomlin.
Yes, tonight I did want to, I wanted to have a sort of a general conference because my topic is communication of idea, because I think, Mr. Butt, in a time like this when there's a general, when there's a general confusion, when people don't really, I think we need a person who, yes, really, absolutely.
I've been saying that for years.
I think so. That's exactly why I wanted, because, I mean, the copious verborum,
Yeah.
and I thank you for your views.
You're very welcome.
Dennis Allen.
Yes. Do you feel the only reason a lot of today's college revolutionaries aren't burning down more libraries is that they don't know where they are?
No, they need the libraries because that's where they go to find out how to make bombs.
Does that answer your question all right, Mr. Allen?
That's fine for me.
Yes, Barbara Sharma.
Oh, hello.
Hi.
Is it true that your favorite comedians are Flip Wilson and Senator Fulbright?
I don't think Flip Wilson is so funny.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will be back shortly for more questions and answers with our special guest, Mr. Bill Buckley. But right now, we have to go to the party.
I understand that the president is going to send Spiro Agnew around to improve relations with unfriendly countries. But there is no truth to the rumor that the first stop on the trip will be the United States.
The cost of living is getting out of hand. Do you know the consumer price index is going up 0.1% a night?
My latest psychological experiment. I fed my dog turkeys every day for a month. And yesterday, when I was walking him through Burbank, he tried to eat NBC.
Who got in trouble for not taking the pill. She was practicing license without medicine.
Sin by silence when they should protest makes cowards of men.
Where'd you get that saying? From some bearded long hair?
That's right. Abraham Lincoln.
Oh, I guess he told me.
This season, I left the tennis tour and joined the Sexual Freedom League. Guess what? I was voted Rookie of the Year and Most Valuable Player.
I know a woman who had to stop taking birth control pills because she developed side effects. Triplets.
I was on special detail in Central Park, and I had to dress up in women's clothes. I didn't catch any molesters, but I did have a wonderful evening of dinner and dancing with the sailor from the USS Oklahoma.
You know, even I'm getting tired of these girls running around half naked.
You're tired of girls half naked?
No, I'm tired of them running around.
Check these pics. Oh, you know, Big Boomer, just one little word from you would really liven up this party.
Oh, what do you want me to say?
Goodbye.
My doctor recently if I should undergo a change of sex. He said, from what?
Just a minute. Just a minute. In this case, I think I better call in a regular doctor. Dr. Fenster.
What seems to be the problem?
She's coughing a lot.
Oh, my heavens.
Maybe you better shake that thing again.
I don't know what she's doing.
Yes, what's it? Yeah.
Will Judy find happiness with Bill? Will Sally find happiness with Bill? Will Alicia find happiness with Bill?
I don't know, but I've got a feeling Bill's already got such happiness.
What would you get if you crossed Mae West with Victor Borga?
I don't know what.
The prune Danish.
In just 1 minute, it'll be 60 seconds later than it is right now.
Hey, you know, the son of a friend of mine is really happy today.
Oh, why is that?
He was just awarded a bowling scholarship at the University of Burbank.
In beautiful downtown Burbank, it's harder to find temptation than it is to resist it.
Carol, I understand that you do a nightclub act with 10 men. Oh, is there any way I could get into the act?
Well, not right now, Gladys, honey, but I'll let you know if one of the boys gets sick.
Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, has been our custom for 3 years. Has been our custom. Look who's giving speech lessons.
Whom?
You.
Me?
Yeah. No, you can't say. What do you always complain about the dressing rooms?
Well, on the floor, you got crapet and I have lolium.
You got what?
Crapet.
No, I have carpet.
Oh.
Carpet.
Carpet.
What do you got?
Lolium.
There's no such thing as lolium.
On the dressing room floor, I got a lot of lolium. Yeah,
you have linoleum.
Lolium. Lin.
Lee.
Lolium.
Tonight as has been our custom for 3 years, we're going to look at the past year, which was 1970.
Horse feathers.
Very good.
That's a complete falsehood. Not once in the last 3 years have we ever looked at 1970.
No, I mean, it's nearly the end of the year, and now we're going to look back and see what happened in 1970.
Well, it's about time.
What do you mean it's about time?
Well, it's just like you, putting things off till the last minute.
If we're going to look back in 1970, the end of the year is a pretty good time to do it.
Well, if it is, the first good time we've had in 1970.
You're right about that. It wasn't a great year. I mean, with the war, the crime rate, the economy.
The crested bullfinch.
The crested bullfinch.
Yes, this was the year the crested bullfinch became extinct.
Is that so?
Yeah, Wednesday a week.
Wednesday week.
The last one passed away.
Dick, with everything that's going on in the world, who could possibly worry about the last crested bullfinch?
Well, the last crested bullfinch for one.
Oh, yeah, that would bother him. All right, it was a bad year for crested bullfinches, but look at what else happened.
Right.
The sparrows have made out all right.
True.
The robins, the bluebirds.
Yeah,
they
well,
did
that
okay.
certainly proves one thing.
What's that?
Well, 1970 was sure a year for the birds.
For the birds, maybe so. But it behooves us to take a look back anyway.
Happy New Year! Happy New Year! Happy New Year!
We hope the year ahead is a year to remember, cause the last one was a year to forget.
We hope the movie straighten out at least a smidge, cause we can take another Myra Breckenridge.
But with the market dipping down to the bottom.
And the Mary causing all of the fuss. 71, and that'll be fun. 70 was boo for us. A real hisser. 70 was boo for us.
In 1970, Martha Mitchell brought a lot of problems to a head, so that now when you call the Mitchell home, you have to state which John you want.
In 1970, Penn Central and Mia Farrow both went into the hands of receivers.
Pornography was a major issue across the land in 1970, as concerned citizens everywhere convened to study the problem.
Mr. Traviesis, let me see that book, 20 Fun Things to Do at an Adult Party.
Mr. Kazmaier, are you finished with that film strip from the movie Gidget Goes Mail?
I certainly am. Well, Miss Tebbett, what do you think?
I think this is filthy, disgusting trash.
Couldn't agree with you more. How about you, Mr. Traviesis?
Well, the moral fiber of the entire country is at stake. Somehow we've just got to stamp out this menace.
Do we all agree? I say yes.
I say yes.
Yes.
How about you, Miss Slosser? Mr. Werner? Miss Slosser? Well, that's 3-4, 2 against.
Extra! President says inflation is ended.
Oh, I'll take a paper, Sonny.
Okay, here you are.
Here's $10.
Okay, and here's your change.
Dean Martin and Frank Sinatra left the Democrats for Republican Ronald Reagan. First time they've ever switched from Scotch to an old-fashioned.
1970 was the year that thousands of people put anti-air pollution stickers on their cars and drove around polluting the air.
Roz and the Smothers brothers found themselves in the same situation. Both were taken off.
In 1970, almost every TV program tried to feature at least one performer who represented the black people. In fact, there was only one show who seemed to avoid the black issue completely. That was Julia.
Bill Buckley was a very big thing in 1970. Why don't we see more of him?
We will in just a little while.
Well, hurry up. He's funny.
He is a hoot.
In 1970, a private survey showed many popular breakfast cereals are alleged to contain little or no nutritional value. We now take you to an in-depth interview with a former sports champion who for years has been the popular spokesman for one of these cereals.
Yes, kiddies, eat Foon Flakes, and you too can grow up to be a champion.
Excuse me, Mr. Tibbet. I'm here to find out what you think of the report, which claims that the Foon Flakes have no nutritional value.
Snap, crackle, and poppycock.
Oh, but it states right here in the box that a bowl of Foon Flakes does contain certain nutrients such as calcium.
Yes, particularly if you drink the milk.
And dextrose.
Yes, particularly if you eat the sugar.
And iron.
Yes, particularly if you swallow the spoon.
Oh, gosh. How about this Ralph Nader?
What? What's his latest crusade?
He's fabulous. He wants to... It's consumer protection.
Oh.
He wants to put an end to people having to pay for something they're not getting.
Hey, that's terrific. I can stop paying alimony.
Oh, yeah, this was the year that Frank Sinatra turned down singing engagements in both Las Vegas and New Jersey. Oh, yeah. Oops, I thought I was stolen. In 1970, immigration moved at its usual pace, and so did Georgie Jessen.
Hi, I'm Tony Curtis. I went to London where certain authorities claimed I was trying to start a grassroots movement. I love you, Bodicott. Well, President Nixon brought some life to San Clemente, and San Clemente hoped to return the favor.
We'll be right back with more about the things that plagued us in 1970 after this very tasteful example.
Happy New Year! Happy New Year! Happy New Year! We hope the year ahead is perfectly grilled because the last year was a bummer, you bet.
Pollution, populations, and other sins. Like Nixon getting stoned and me having twins.
They're calling names that nobody's heard of, and those advertisers leaving TV. The last 52, they make it for you. They didn't do a thing for me.
Just higher taxes.
Didn't do a thing for me.
Last year, the Women's Liberation Group and the Gay Liberation Front tried to solve their differences, only to find out there were none.
You know, there were more holdups in 1970 than any other year. Holdups in tax reform, integration, and in the Paris peace talks.
And in 1970,
Senator Strom Thurmond had a baby at 67, which is pretty old for a baby.
And last year, television boldly presented a completely new lineup of last year's shows.
If anyone knows the whereabouts of Timothy Leary, please tell him.
Audrey, I'm waiting. Oh.
Let's hope the 12 up front make a year to remember, 'cause the 12 behind made a year to forget. When all those big attempts at peace again have failed, and poor old Henry Fonda found his daughter jailed. What with the women's lib and gay liberation, with the violence and student unrest, the 365, they keep you alive. The last one didn't do their best. To put it mildly, the last one didn't do their best.
You know what led to our problems in 1970?
No, what?
All of our problems in 1969.
That's tacky, but it's true.
In 1970, Indians took over the barren rock known as Alcatraz. It was the best piece of real estate they acquired since Death Valley.
And this was the year the city of Newark, New Jersey did something Los Angeles has never been able to do. They found a way to keep their mayor in one place.
Hi, Big Al here. Oh, I love that bell. A tinkle a day keeps the doctor away. Well, 1970 sports scene, like many other aspects of last year, was dominated by Spiro T. Agnew. In a golf game, he hit his partner on the head with a drive. Oh, mashing. He managed also to skull his partner in a tennis match. However, there is no truth to the rumor that the vice president was then told to take up the boomerang. Oh, ta-ta.
Then in October, Muhammad Ali returned to the ring after a 3.5-year exile and defeated Jerry Quarry.
Clay was nothing. It was a lucky 211 punches.
Integration in the South during 1970 took on its own peculiar style. Some schools integrated, some didn't, and others.
All right, attention to roll call. William Pierce, 10 demerits, late. Lucy Robbins, 10 demerits, late. Johnny Brown.
I'm here, teacher.
10 demerits, early. Your mother dresses you tacky.
In 1970, President Nixon said that we'd have peace and prosperity in time for the elections in 1972.
Gadzooks. That almost makes you wish that the elections were being held in 1971.
Whacker, you may be onto something.
Yes,
1970 was a very exciting year, if you get turned on by bad news.
Businesses have gone bankrupt.
My plumbing company just went down the drain.
My bra factory went bust.
My door company just closed.
My pet store went to the dogs.
My tobacco plantation went up in smoke.
The bottom dropped out of my pants factory.
And on Fire Island, we had a gay time.
Well, sir, looking back in 1970, it really doesn't appear to have been a banner year.
Well, that's because you have a negative approach. If you bothered to search it out, you'd find that many positive things occurred.
Like what?
Well, in the city of New York, at least 30 people were not mugged. That's good news.
At least 30.
Right. In Los Angeles in 1970, citizens enjoyed almost 2 full days of smog-free weather.
In the whole year.
Right. And there were at least 6 colleges that did not have campus uprising. Huh?
Aside from your facetious optimism, there is one good thing you can say about 1970.
What's that?
It's over.
The year ahead is a year to remember. In the last one, dancing peg of my heart.
It's funny how the year is sweet and quickly sours when flights take off for Cuba every 7 hours. With the Martha Mitchell moving her mouth,
And with the Beatles really calling it quits.
the year that ensues may banish the blues. The last one should be blown to bits. Or sent to China. Last year should be blown to bits.
Carol, all of your clothes are so beautiful. They must be very expensive.
Well, yes, Dick. I spend all of my money on clothes instead of jewelry. That way, if I'm robbed in an elevator, it's much more fun.
Should a gentleman offer a lady a peccadillo?
Please, this isn't doing any good.
It's doing great already.
What good is it doing?
It strengthened my wrists, and it got me a job with Miguelito Valdez. Papa.
Are you the school marm?
Did you know Ronald Reagan when he was an actor?
No, and I've known him for 40 years, man.
As we promised, here is William F. Buckley.
Mr. Buckley, you have 49 nieces and nephews. That's information I was given. Is that true?
That's correct.
49 nieces and nephews. Well, other than...
As of yesterday.
You're afraid to go home and say what's new and all. Other than your own family, where are the conservatives of America coming from tomorrow?
Well, from all of those breeding grounds of common sense, including beautiful downtown Burbank.
I think this should be a goodie for Mr. B.
Mr. B?
Mr. B. The population explosion is a major problem today, and the size of your family would tend to indicate that the Buckleys are not advocates of birth control. Is there a Buckley plan to solve overpopulation?
Well, I see what you mean.
Ruth Buzzy has another question.
Some people think that some of the readers of the Free Press are higher than its circulation. Others feel that the National Review has better circulation than some of its readers. How do you compare the two publications?
Well, I don't, to begin with.
Have you ever read the Free Press?
The Detroit Free Press?
we have a Los Angeles Free Press, and it's supposedly an underground newspaper.
Well, I think the distinction is progressively obscure because what it was that signified an underground newspaper originally was that you couldn't buy it. But you can buy the Los Angeles Free Press, I take it. Then also the underground papers were licentious, ideologically and sexually. But I don't think they are exclusively anymore. You know, the movie page of the New York Times could be used as a Rorschach test.
In Burbank, Mr. Buckley, 98% of the people who can read the National Review, and all 4 of them like it. Conversely, what is your reaction to Burbank?
My reaction would be that the Head Start program is making great strides in Burbank.
Mr. Buckley, in your opinion, what's the funniest thing that Spiro Agnew ever said?
That he welcomed the endorsement of John Lindsay.
Artie.
Well, there was a book written on the Kennedy wit. Do you feel that there will ever be a book written on the humor of Nixon?
Sure. Brevity is the soul of wit.
Mr. Buckley, I've noticed that whenever you appear on television, you're always seated. Does this mean you can't think on your feet?
It's very hard to stand up carrying the weight of what I know.
We'll be back with more of William F. Buckley.
Oh, ho, ho. Are you a good little girl?
Yes, I am.
Shove off.
Hi, what you doing? Flying a kite?
No, dumbo, I'm walking my bird.
Scientists are making rapid advances in creating life in the laboratory. Someday you may be able to have a baby without even lifting a finger.
Yes, may I help you?
Oh, yes. Could you please mix us up a little baby? You know, blue eyes, blonde hair, Republican.
You were recommended to us by Selma Archard. You mixed her up, an adorable little fella.
Well, I'm afraid I won't be able to fill your order. A strike's been called by the Test Tube Testers Union. It could last months. Those tube testers are testy.
But we had our hearts so set on having a little baby.
Well...
Yeah, could you do something?
Well, years ago, before the tube, people used a rather primitive method to achieve parenthood.
Well, we will try it. Anything at all. We will try it.
Madam, I suggest that you wait here. And, sir, please, would you step into my office? Right over here. Let me see. I hope I remember this correctly. Oh, yes. I must find my hammer, my bird cage, and my saxophone. Don't worry, lady. This one will turn out just perfectly.
And now here is today's helpful hint. The best way to get your palm red is to have it hold its breath for 30 seconds. Thank you.
Ladies, here's a little household hint. Make sure your husband's wedding ring is just a little too tight. After all, it's supposed to stop his circulation.
Here is another handy household hint. When you pour chocolate over a sheep, you'll come up with a chocolate bar.
My name is John Wayne, and I'd like to do an impression of Rich Little. Well, hi, everybody. That's about the size of it.
We're sure getting a lot of injured students from the campus riots.
I know it. I can't understand it either because the authorities have a new policy of always firing a warning shot first.
Well, I know. They just brought in a student who looks like he's got at least a couple of warning shots in him already.
You know, it sounds like it's getting almost as dangerous to be a student as it is to be a policeman.
The other day, I saw a high school student throwing rocks and screaming at the police. So I asked him what he was doing, and he said, preparing myself for a college education.
Hey, right now, here's an opportunity to catch some sleep so you can stay up and watch my show later on.
Excuse me, Carol. May I call you Carol?
Oh, honey, Lammy, that's my name.
Thank you.
Yes.
Miss Channing, what are you doing?
Well, Dennis, dear heart, I was singing the title song from my new Broadway show, Four on a Garden.
I didn't hear anything.
Of course you didn't. It's not a musical.
True or false? Johnny Brown is the son of the famous show business couple, Amos and Andy.
I know, Dick. You've met him. You know, Dick, in looking back at 1970, we had some pretty harsh things to say.
You know we did. Maybe we were a little too hard on the old
I
year.
think so, yeah.
Yeah, you know, because some nice things happened in 1970.
Certainly did. Like very early in 1970, Sammy Davis Jr. was our guest, and he was wonderful as always.
Mr. Wonderful. And
Yep.
Sam will be with us next week
That's
to
right.
get 1971 off to a swinging start. And we had a lot of other groovy guests, you know.
Sure did. Orson Welles, Debbie Reynolds, Art Carney, Tim Conway.
Tim's too much. Then there was Ken Berry and dozens of other wonderful people who made it a merrier time for us in 1970.
And no one made it a better time than Zero Mostel.
Zero.
A ton of laughs.
That's not all he was a ton of.
No.
You know, he left a little something to bring 1970 to a laughing close. Take a look.
Okay.
I beg your pardon.
Ach du Liebe! Another talking puppet.
That was me.
Whoopee, a giant puppet. Say something else. Say something else.
No, I'm not a puppet. I'm just a customer, and I'd like to buy a gift.
Why, you little dumpling, you came to the right place. What's it going to be? Some new Lederhausen? Maybe a cuckoo clock? How about a bologna sandwich? Even if you don't see it, we got it.
Oh, I'm looking for a little gift.
Okay, man, woman, child, or puppy dogs?
Husband.
Yeah, now what kind of husband can I get you?
Oh, no. I already have a husband.
Are you a little swing, are you?
Look, I'm in a hurry. My car is double parked outside.
Yeah, well, I give you a good trade-in deal on the car. New cars are on the second floor, first door on the right.
No. I don't want a new car.
Used cars, third floor.
Oh, please, I'm on my lunch break, and I'm already late.
Why didn't you say something? How about a snack? Today's specialty is corned beef and rye with sauerkraut.
No, I don't want a sandwich.
Well, maybe a nice plate of cold cuts and potato salad. A picky.
Please, I'm just trying to buy an anniversary present for my husband.
How about a nice puppet? I got a cute little number here that tells lies and the nose glows. He'll love it.
Don't you have something a little more personal?
Well, maybe I could sell you a lock of my hair, but that's as personal as I can get.
What I had in mind.
I got it. How about a nice horse? Fifth floor, second door on the right.
He doesn't ride.
Too bad. Well, I got a nice Trojan horse you can push. Holds about 50 people.
Oh, now, wait a minute. No. Do you mean to tell me that you have a Trojan horse up there on the second floor?
Of course not, Dumpling. The Trojan horses are on the fourth floor, inside the freight car.
I think I'll tell you what I have decided.
What's that, pussycat?
I think that I'll buy him a great, bright green fire engine with pink velvet upholstery and a sequin ladder. And also, I'd like a whale sandwich to go. How about that?
I sold the last fire engine this morning, and for one sandwich, I'm not starting a new veil. How about a cookie and a polka dot Zeppelin?
I'll take it.
One number's free to go.
Miss Tiller, what can a girl do about bad breath?
Keep your mouth shut.
You know, the smog out here is so bad that today I took a deep breath and chipped my tooth.
That's such a big needle. Do I have to take that in my arm?
Nah.
Can I have it the dosage orally?
Anything you say. Open wide.
This lousy iron doesn't work, and I want my money cheerfully refunded. Cheerfully.
Certainly, madam.
if you will, the aardvark, with his long, suspicious nose. He gobbles up the ants which kill romance. And appetites, I suppose.
And now, back by popular request, William F. Buckley.
Ernestine?
Yes. I wanted you to know that I'm a big fan of yours, Mr. Buckley. I was curious, what does the F stand for? You needn't tell me. I'll come up later and inspect your pencil. What I'm interested in is there are a great many books out now, like Everything You Wanted to Know About Sex and Were Afraid to Ask. Then there's the Masters and Johnson book. And then there's The Sensuous Women, not unlike myself. What position do you hold on these books, and where are you staying in Burbank?
You want to deal with those questions separately or all at once?
Have you ever been to a Tupperware party?
A what?
Oh, come on. Now, a serious question.
Okay. Regarding the trend toward nudity in entertainment, what is the Buckley view of nudity in entertainment?
That it's excessive.
You know, many people consider you to be one of the most intelligent men in America.
They're not very bright.
No, you must be. You have a great
Do you
command.
feel that appearing on Laugh-In disproves that?
It helps.
Why would you appear? We're delighted that you have appeared. Not many people know that we've been trying to get you for 4 years now. But why have you finally consented to appear on our show?
Because your producer wrote me an irresistible letter.
He's an irresistible fellow. What did he say?
Well, to begin with, he promised to fly me out in an airplane with 2 right wings. And then he said if I came, he would vote the way I directed him to for the rest of his life.
That's pretty good deal.
So I figured that was kind of irresistible and be kind of caddish. And anyway, I'm very glad to see you.
We're glad you're here. Alan, Suze, do you have another question?
Where'd you get that tie?
Let's take one more question from the kooks out here. Ruth, no offense, Ruth.
No, it's okay. Now, it's been made clear today that for the past 3 years, you have consistently refused to appear on Laugh-In. Now that you're here, do you feel that your judgment up until now has been excellent, good, or fair, and will it hurt your image or ours the most?
Well, I suppose it will make you more respectable and me less so. And both of those are probably to be desired.
Mr. Buckley, we want to thank you so much for taking time to visit with us. We think that it bears out a demonstrable fact that you can't be that smart without having a sense of humor, and you have a delightful one. Thank you so much.
And now, from under the sapphire room of the Nern Hotel in beautiful downtown Burbank, let's ring your chimes as the mothers of rhythm ask the musical question.
Say goodnight, Dick.
Wait a minute. Don't you want to hear what happened to my aunt?
Absolutely, unequivocally, positively, unconditionally, emphatically, no.
Well, while you're trying to make up your mind, let me tell you what happened. You see, my aunt was trapped in a camper with 20 wine tasters on the Pennsylvania Turnpike.
Wait a minute. Now, how did your aunt manage to get herself into a predicament like that?
Well, they just took the Jersey Turnpike and turned right at Philadelphia.
I don't mean that. I mean, being in a camper with 20 wine tasters. Now, she should have known that driving and drinking just don't mix.
Funny, that's what my aunt said.
Well, that's the first intelligent thing your aunt has said in the last 10 years.
Funny, that's exactly what the wine tasters said.
well, driving and drinking don't mix. Whoever said it?
You said it.
I sure did. This year, let's all drive safely, sanely, soberly, and say goodnight, Dick.
Good night, Dick.
Good night.
My cousin believes that pornography is harmful because it sure is ruining his eyes.
Why is autumn like a Japanese tumbling act?
I give up, Ruth. Why is autumn like a Japanese tumbling act?
Because in both cases, there's usually a little nip in the air.
Yo, oh, no, where the wind comes.
You know what? My little niece just got her first training bra.
Training bra.
But it's awfully uncomfortable because the wheels keep getting in the way.
You know, the other day I was driving through Alpine, California, and I stuck my hand out to make a right turn, and the cop gave me a manicure.
Yeah, I think I have an ulcer. What should I do?
Don't worry about it.
What do you think of the new math as opposed to the old math?
Well, I think it's 7 of one and half a dozen of the other.
Yeah, and what vegetable appears in a popular song?
I don't know, Alan.
Okra.
In what song is okra?
Okra, hollow where the wind comes.
What would you get if you crossed a birth control pill with a fertility drug?
An anxious 9 months.
I kept telling Silverman the tailor, if he didn't stop cursing, God would punish him.
What?
And sure enough, the other day he was hit by a bolt of cloth, and it took 2 hours to pull all the herringbones out of him.
Did you hear about the midget that put his elevator shoes on upside down and wound up in the basement?
You realize if John Lennon and Yoko Ono ever have a child, they'll be the first people to give birth to a Japanese beetle.
Last night, police sirens kept me awake so long, I finally had to call the cops.
I got it. I've got a very religious dog. He's got a statue of St. Bernard on his collar.
I know an ecology expert who on his night off goes out and gets polluted.
You don't.
Very interesting, but nauseating.